my name is Natsuki. I'm a friend of Sayori's. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Yuri. I'm new here as well.
And the boy over there is the club secretary.
You're committed to that bit, huh? Sayori, I'm recovered. Joins the four of us.
Whoa, you got promoted? Congratulations!
Feels more like a demotion than anything. Monica snaps her fingers, bringing each of our eyes to her. Just made her way behind the teacher's podium.
Now that everyone is here, we can finally begin the first official meeting of the Literature Club.
Sayori pumps a fist in the air and cheers.
Yay!
Yuri and Natsuki awkwardly follow along. Monica then looks to me expectantly.
Come on, assistant. We're all club members now. You have to participate.
Well, it's just that... Sayori joins Monica, encouraging me, throwing another fist into the air.
Yeah, join us!
Natsuki and Yuri look toward me with expectant eyes and confused expressions. Hesitantly, I lift my arm and let out a small cheer. Yay!
Alright, if I could have some help, I need us to form a small table out of the desks here. Sayori, assistant. On it, Miss President.
Sarah and I walk to the back of the room and start to arrange the desks into a makeshift table, with one desk facing the rest for Monica. Taking our places, we wait for Monica to give further instruction.
Okay, you guys. Since we know each other's names, why don't we play a little introduction game to get ourselves more familiar with each other? After all, I want this club to be one where everyone is comfortable to be themselves.
Looking around, it's clear Natsuki and Yuri are more than uncomfortable with this idea. They both are staring at Sayori, whose smile seems to be their one comfort. Sounding a bit like a teacher, Monica.
Why do you think they always insist on it, assistant? Even if you don't end up remembering any of the people there, it's much better to break the ice early on rather than sit awkwardly for a month.
Well, I guess so. I scratch the back of my head, still extremely unsure about this idea. Monica continues on, reaching into her bag and pulling out a game die. Sayori reaches next to her feet and grabs a cup, containing labeled popsicle sticks.
The rules of this game are very simple. Each of us will take turns rolling a die, and the person with the highest number will pull a question out from the cup and read it out loud before answering it.
A game of chance through and through. Sounds like Sayori thought of this idea. In all the years I've known her, she's always had the most impeccable luck. Yuri chimes in.
What if two people were to roll the same number?
If that happens, then the two will roll again as a tiebreaker.
Starting from Monica and going clockwise, we each are handed the die and roll it. Scores end up being... Monica 2, Sayori 1, Yuri 5, Natsuki 4. We got 2. Lucky this time. Yuri, realizing her defeat, looks over towards the cup. She seems to mediate on which stick to pull before reaching forward and slowly pulling one out. Begins to read it out.
Why did you choose the Literature Club? Well, when Monica approached me and told me about the club's premise, I thought the concept was very appealing, so I agreed to attend the first meeting. There isn't really an in-depth explanation. I apologize.
Sounds a lot nicer than how Sayori convinced me. Looking suspiciously at Sayori, I press for further detail. Oh yeah? What do you mean?
Well, she told me about this place on Tuesday and asked if I wanted to join. I said no, but then she came back the same day, this time approaching me at lunch. Finally, she startled me while I was washing my hands earlier today, so I agreed to get her off my back.
Monica giggles nervously and gives Natsuki an apologetic smile. So she was lying yesterday. I apologize on behalf of my pet.
Hey, it's not as bad as it sounds! Yuri, you believe me, right?
Well,
Yuri, not you too!
Natsuki laughs at Sayori's pathetic display, while Yuri tries to fend off Sayori's pressing. Monica starts to roll, and the rest of the gang regains their focus. The scores end up resulting as... Ooh, Natsuki. Close call. Natsuki reaches into the cup and shuffles the sticks around roughly before pulling out a stick at random, reading it out loud. What is your favorite form of literature?
That's...
Yuri's extremely hesitant to answer a question and looks toward Monica for an escape. But before she can say anything, Sayori blurts out an answer.
Oh, that's easy. It's definitely manga. Sayori! Natsuki yells at Sayori, who responds with sticking her tongue out cheekily. Those two get into a small argument. However, this becomes background noise as I focus on a much more pressing issue. Girl who reads manga? Well, heard of those breeds and legends in harem anime, which we may or may not be in one. Why does Zero echo as Natsuki? Oh,
So
Monica
who's
might.
gonna tell him?
Monica might have me too loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll turn him down.
So who's gonna tell him? He'll figure it out. Was this the surprise Sarah was referring to? Someone with my taste? For the first time in what feels like forever, I begin to feel the desire to talk to someone else. How'd you even find a girl like this? What is... God damn it. How'd you even find a girl like this? Are there more? Do these kinds run in packs? Where can I... Hey, are you in there? Sarah waves her hand in front of me, bringing me back to the game. Everyone's attention is centered on me, and I quickly realize why. It's my turn to roll the dice. Alright, I have to try and learn as much about Natsuki as possible. God, hear my words and desires. Nope, Monica. As the scores are revealed, I learn that there is no god. Monica reaches in the cup and gently swirls the sticks around before deciding on one. She briefly looks over the stick before flushing a bit.
Sayori, don't you think this question is kind of personal?
She leans over and allows Sayori to read the question herself.
But games like this always have questions like that, right? I suppose, but...
Monica relents, sighing before she reads her stick out loud.
When was your first kiss? Well...
Monica turns silent, almost as if she's afraid to answer.
I haven't actually kissed someone yet.
Oh, so it is a rumor. Oh, so wait, so is Monica's like character like she's popular, so everyone just assumes like, oh yeah, Monica, oh she's a whore. And like anytime she talks to a guy, they're like, or guys just lie like, yeah, I fucked Monica. But then really, like, Monica hasn't been in a relationship with anybody. It was like, you know, the guys walking around like, yeah, I fucked her. Like, oh. Rumors don't come from nowhere, so who knows? Maybe someone dated Monica, and then maybe, like, he created the rumor. Who knows? Or maybe he wanted more. Maybe she dated someone, he wanted more. Monica said she wasn't interested. So then, to get back at her, the guy spread a rumor saying that he fucked her. Zero's going deep into this. Big bro.
She could have had multiple relationships, just never went very far with them.
Maybe she just wasn't really, yeah. Virgins be like, I fucked Monica. Yeah, I fucked Monica. Friggin'. The group is quickly taken by surprise. Even Sayori doesn't seem to quite believe her.
I know many have already had their first boyfriends or something, but I just never had the time for something like that. There was always something else I need to focus on, so I just never got around to it.
Natsuki's the first of us to speak up, expressing her shared surprise.
That's quite surprising, Miss School Idol. I was dead sure you were the most mature out of all of us. To think, you're so far behind.
Well, it's not like kissing someone is much of a milestone or proof of maturity. It's simply a form of affection. Besides, I'm willing to guess there's at least another person here who hasn't had their first kiss either.
And if she couldn't have known, Yuri has hit so close to home.
Not me. I had my first kiss when I was 15 during a romantic summer trip.
Natsuki seems extremely proud of this fact. She puffs out her chest and strikes a triumphant pose.
I had mine at 14. It was during a family get-together.
What?
What?
Huh?
Who kissed you, Sayori?
Wait, what?
Yuri cuts her short and continues the roundtable confessions. Wait, what?
Oh, I had mine a bit early when I was 11.
Oh, what's the story there?
I want to go back to Sayori.
Yeah, you're not interested in her story?
Monica was like,
Wait a minute, well, go back.
Monica's like, hold up.
I might have to rethink about my vice president. That's...
Yuri clams up at Natsuki's questioning and retracts into a state of embarrassment.
You're getting really red, Yuri. Are you okay? Catching a fever?
No, it's just...
She's blushing, Sayori. That must have been her stories. That must mean her story's especially spicy. Ooh. Tell us the spice. Yeah, come on. You're only making us more interested.
The girl's prodding seems to make Yuri increasingly uncomfortable, causing a few tears to pull out the sides of her eyes. Oh no! Yuri,
God.
no! Oh, Bug said, this scene was very important to me. Anime have an obsession with girls being absolutely pure and perfect. He said, the scene was very important to me. Anime have an obsession with girls being absolutely pure and perfect, inexperienced in all ways. I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. If this continues, I have a feeling I might already lose a member. Oh no!
You guys, don't you think you're...
Screw it. I haven't had my first kiss either. That was some sort of ploy to draw attention away from Yuri. I blurted out the last thing I wanted to admit.
Really?
Monica's quick to pick up what I'm trying to do and plays along. Yeah, I've never had a girlfriend either. I'm kind of like you, Monica. I was always too busy. God, I'm just digging myself deeper and deeper.
Hey,
Sari taps me on the shoulder and begins whispering in my ear.
are you okay? You wouldn't normally admit to something like that.
Just trying to draw attention away from Yuri. She seemed on the verge of tears.
What? She was?
She yelled out loud.
What? She was?
Sarah yells this part out loud, as if it was the most surprising thing in the world. Monica, despite her plan failing, seems impressed by my perceptiveness and stares at me with a certain degree of awe. It's actually making me super self-conscious. Please stop.
I'm sorry, Yuri. I didn't mean to make you feel awkward.
It's alright. I just... rather not share that story. At least, not right now. I'm sorry.
Ah, that made me feel worse. Water over the bridge, alright?
It's under the bridge.
Under
over the bridge.
Yes.
Sensing the futility and trying to revive her spirit, Monica rises to her feet and begins to adjourn today's meeting.
Well, with that behind us, I feel there's no better time to wrap up today's meeting. After all, I don't want to hold you here too long on the first day.
She ends the game rather early, collecting the cup and die, then returning them to her bag.
Aww.
Sari pouts as her fun is drawn to a close. The four of us rearrange the desk at their original formation and collect our bags. We wave goodbye to Monica, who opts to stay behind for a little while longer. Sarah and I eventually part with Natsuki and Yuri, who head in the opposite direction from the school's gate. Along the way home, Sarah and I discuss the day.
How was my surprise?
I gotta admit, I wasn't expecting to bring someone with the same interests as me. Good find.
Hehe, when I found out about her hobby, I just knew I had to bring her to the club to meet you.
Well, it's still yet to be seen if she's as refined as me.
I think finding someone else who's into underage girls is impossible.
Can you not? One of these days, someone's going to overhear your jokes and mistake it as damning evidence.
Don't worry. If that happens, I'll just tell them that you're only into imaginary girls.
I know that was my argument, but I can only imagine the horrors you'd unleash on the world if you became a lawyer. I sigh to myself, feeling exhausted from Sarah's teasing and the day's events.
Well, at least today was a lot of fun, right?
I suppose so, but I'm not sure I really belong in a literature club. Not to mention, I'm the only guy there.
I'm sure we'll get some other guys as the year goes on. I'll make sure to double up my recruitment tactics.
If you do, I'm not bailing you out of jail when you're charged for stalking and/or sexual harassment.
Hey, I promise Natsuki made it sound way worse than what it really was.
Having a hard time believing that, Sayori. Sayori tries to save face, but I mostly tune her out, as I think back to what Monica mentioned earlier. Never kissing someone, huh? Call me sane, but I just don't believe that. Someone like her just has to have done something as simple as that. Though, I guess someone could make the same argument for me. Regardless, there's definitely something going on with that girl. It doesn't really matter too much to me, and logically speaking, it's unlikely that whatever she's involved in will affect me or Sayori. However, my curiosity is piqued, It's becoming harder to simply ignore that paranoid voice in my head. Must be hiding something.
What was that?
Oh, nothing, Sayori. Just talking to myself.
Eh?
Sayori cocked her head in confusion, and I refrained from explaining myself further. I decided internally that I'll begin to pay more attention to the conversations involving Monica in school. With a new sense of resolve, I say goodbye to Sayori and head inside to rest. Bring an end to the first official meeting of the Literature Club. I open my door and walk over to the couch to... Wait, my door? Going back towards the door, I see that all the trash that had previously been blocking the entrance has been smashed together into a compact pile. Alright, Sayori must have done that when she came over the other day. Does that mean the mice's corpses are behind me? Hear the small scurrying of an animal and jump up and onto my couch. At least it's only one. Door pile starts to make noise from it. Another small creature darts out and runs into my kitchen. This world does hate me after all. Aw, poem 2. Duka! There it is. Clap it up. That is the end of episode 2. But first, we can have poetry of the day. Poet of the day.
Hello, and welcome back once again to the Poet of the Day. Oh, Sayori was right. The title is a bit broken. Hold on a second. There we go. Much better.
Okay, so now I have a question. Is Monica aware in this mod, or is she just aware in the Poet of the Day? Because, like, the fact that she's able to do something like that makes me like, is that supposed to be a hint?
Anyways, today, I'll be your host as Sayori is currently very busy.
No, it's a throwaway
So
joke.
no.
Okay.
In case you didn't know, allow me to introduce myself. I am Monica, and I'm the Literature Club's president. You see, it's always been a dream of mine to create a place where people could come and share their love of literature. And one day, I happened to hear about club registration, and...
Monica, please. I can't be here too long. I'm worried Sayori might get a bit too curious, start sniffing around my bedroom.
Sorry. Why don't we get started on today's fact, Today's featured poet is... Sherman Alexie. While he might not be extremely famous, especially when compared to Edgar Allan Poe, he has left quite an impression upon the literary world. Being raised on the Spokane Indian Reservation, Sherman was born into a life filled with the Native American art and traditions. Unfortunately, Sherman faced a lot of difficulties at a young age, having had a set of alcoholic parents and being bored with hydrocephalus. What is that word?
Hydrocephalus.
Hydrocephalus.
The fuck does hydrocephalus mean?
I don't know.
As a result, his head was larger than normal kids, and he suffered teasing by his peers.
Oh, that's what it was. That's one of the things.
Not to mention, due to his health problems, he often had to be excluded from traditional rites of passages that the other children would participate in.
Everyone's calling him Dan Salvato. No, guys, it's not Dan.
What? Doesn't even look like it.
Guy with black hair and glasses and slight stubble. Chat, Dan?
Dan?
However, his life began to turn around and he decided to go to a high school out of the reservation. There, he achieved many accolades and played on the school's basketball team. These successes would win him a scholarship to Gonzaga University, where he would pursue a career in medicine. Though he would soon find out that he is quite squeamish and switch his major to law, which he also didn't find too suitable. Having found himself lost in life, he began to find comforts in literature classes. And alcohol. He would go on to drop out of Gonzaga and enroll in Washington State University, falling under the mentorship of Alex Kuo, a respected poetry teacher at the school. From there, his love of writing would come in full force, pursuing his first publication. Having been born on a reservation, Sherman draws a lot of inspiration from his life for his poems. His works include plenty of sorrowful and explicit imagery, ranging from his life on the reservation to alcoholism. However, they're always topped with a bit of sarcastic wit. His style would gain him a bit of reputation among the art world, with many finding charm in the way he handled such horrible topics. Sarah A. Quirk from the Dictionary of Library Biography would describe his as follows: a blend of elements of popular culture, Indian spirituality, and the drudgery of poverty-ridden reservation life to create his characters and the world they inhabit. Some of Sherman's most notable works include The Lone Ranger and Tonto Fistfight in Heaven, and The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. However, things came to a halt for Sherman's life, as in 2018, he was accused of a few cases of sexual harassment, which he later gave a statement about via Facebook. Regardless of the truth of these claims, they came with heavy fallout for Sherman's legacy and reputation. The Institute of American Indian Arts would rename their Sherman Alexie Scholarship to the MFA Alumni Scholarship. And the American Library Association, should have been Literature Club for the win, who had recently awarded Sherman the Carnegie Medal, began to reconsider their choice. He was later reported to have declined the award himself.
Well, this is terrible. This
Yeah,
man's
this isn't very nice.
Well, thank you, Monica. I feel bad for this man.
This guy just had a shitty life, eh?
Well, thank you, Monica. I am sad.
Despite his reputation in recent years, it's fair to say that Sherman Alexie has definitely become an icon with the art world, due in part to his lineage. Having risen up from a childhood of torment and finding his path despite being lost to his adolescence, Sherman Alexie achieved miraculous success. So, while he may have ended up in a tough spot nowadays, he still managed to capture a generation of people with his snarky, melancholic words.
Just looking at chat for a second.
Thank you very much for listening to me. You're truly a remarkable audience. I hope that I've managed to pass on just the smallest bit of my love for literature, and if I have, make sure you run with it. Who knows? It might even lead to a story like Sherman's. Well, hopefully one without the later bits. Stay tuned for more poets and hopefully less crippling alcoholism. Later!
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
So I'm assuming this is Poet 3. Or Episode 3. Yeah, Poem 3. So yeah, we are going to stop the stream here because it is kind of late. But
Yep.
Plus, it's good to stop these episode after episode because, we're getting there. But yeah, this is getting pretty good so far. We got about, I think, this episode, the next episode, and then it's done. This mod's pretty good. I'm enjoying this. This might be S tier. It's definitely getting there. This is looking really good. But yeah, that is it. I hope you all enjoyed episode 3 and 5. Oh, there's 5. Okay, so we have 3 more. All right. Hey, I'm as long as it needs to be. That is it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to download this for yourself, the link is in the description below. And yeah, this has been Zero. Peace.
I'm a sharpshooter.